This person was never meant to stay, but you only realized it after they were gone, and that's what hurts the most, isn't it? Not just that they left, but that you didn't see it sooner. You gave them your time, your attention, your trust. You built something in your mind that felt real, stable, permanent, and for a while, it was, or at least, it felt like it was. But then something shifted, not loudly, not dramatically, just quietly, slowly, almost unnoticeably. The way they spoke changed. The effort became inconsistent. The energy you once felt started fading, and deep down, you noticed, but you ignored it, because accepting the truth would have meant accepting the ending, and you weren't ready for that. As Carl Jung once said, people will do anything, no matter how absurd, to avoid facing their own souls. And maybe you weren't holding on to them. Maybe you were holding on to what you hoped they would become. Because sometimes people don't come into your life to stay. They come to teach you a lesson, one you only understand when it's already too late. You saw the signs, but chose the story instead. The truth didn't arrive suddenly. It whispered to you long before it left. If you're honest with yourself, you knew, not clearly, not confidently, but somewhere, deep inside. You felt it. Those small moments that didn't sit right. A delayed reply that felt different. A change in tone you couldn't explain. A distance that slowly grew, without reason. But instead of questioning it, you explained it away. They're just busy. I'm probably overthinking. Things will go back to normal. And just like that, you chose the story over the truth, because the truth was uncomfortable. It threatened everything you were building emotionally. So you did what most people do. You protected the illusion. As Friedrich Nietzsche suggested, we often prefer comforting lies over painful truths. And that's where the lesson begins, because it wasn't that the signs weren't there. It's that you weren't ready to accept what they meant. Think about it like this. It's like watching a crack form in a wall. At first it's small, easy to ignore, but over time it spreads. And no matter how much you pretend it's not there, eventually it becomes impossible to overlook. And that's what happened here. The ending didn't surprise you. It confirmed what you already felt. And sometimes the hardest part isn't being wrong about someone. It's realizing you were right all along. You weren't holding on to them. You were holding on to what you felt with them. You don't miss the person. You miss the way they made you feel. Let's be honest. If it was just about them, you would have let go already. But you didn't. Because what you lost wasn't just a person. It was a feeling. The feeling of being understood. The feeling of being chosen. The feeling of having someone who made ordinary moments feel special. Think about it. You didn't just talk to them. You waited for them. You didn't just share moments. You felt those moments differently because they were there. A simple message could change your mood. A small conversation could make your entire day feel lighter. And now, that space is empty. You open your phone, scroll through old chats, read messages that once made you smile, and now they just remind you of what's missing. That's what makes it so hard. Not the absence of the person, but the absence of the feeling they created inside you. As Buddha taught, attachment is the root of suffering. And you can feel that truth now, because the more you try to hold on to those feelings, the more painful it becomes. It's like trying to relive a moment that no longer exists. But here's the shift. That feeling, it didn't come from them. It came from you. Your ability to feel deeply, to care, to connect, they were just the trigger, not the source. And once you realize that, you stop chasing them and start reconnecting with yourself. They didn't stay, because they were never aligned with who you're becoming. Some people leave not because you lost them, but because you outgrew what they could offer. There comes a moment, not loud, not dramatic, but quietly powerful, a moment where you stop looking at the past and start understanding it. You begin to see things differently, not through emotion, but through awareness. You remember how you had to adjust yourself, how you stayed silent in moments you wanted to speak, how you tolerated things that didn't sit right, just to keep the connection alive, and slowly, a realization begins to form. You weren't fully yourself. When you were with them, you were a version of yourself, a version that compromised, a version that hoped, a version that waited, and that version was never meant to be permanent. As Carl Jung once said, until you make the unconscious conscious, it will direct your life and you will call it fate. And now, you're seeing clearly, they didn't leave randomly. They left because the version of you that needed them is no longer who you are becoming. Think about it like this. Growth changes your standards. What you once accepted no longer feels right. What once felt like connection now feels like confusion. And that's not loss. That's evolution. Because not everyone is meant to grow with you. Some people are only meant to meet you at a certain level, teach you something, and leave. Not because they're bad, but because their role in your life was temporary. And the moment you understand that, you stop asking, why did they leave? And start realizing why they couldn't stay. The lesson you could only learn after losing them. Some lessons don't make sense while you're in them, only after you walk away. At first, it felt like loss, like something was taken from you, like you gave so much and got nothing back. And for a while, that feeling stays. You question yourself, you question them, you question everything. Why did this happen? What did I do wrong? Why wasn't I enough? But time does something powerful. It doesn't just heal, it reveals, because one day you stop looking at it emotionally and start seeing it clearly. You realize something that once felt impossible to accept. They didn't give you less because you were less. They gave you less because that's all they had to give. As Marcus Aurelius wrote, when you are offended at any man's fault, turn to yourself and study your own failings. And what you begin to see is this. You weren't wrong for loving deeply. You were just giving it to the wrong place, because love, real love, doesn't make you feel uncertain. It doesn't make you question your worth. It doesn't make you wait endlessly for consistency. And the biggest lesson of all, you can't force someone to become what you need. As Buddha taught, you yourself, as much as anybody in the entire universe, deserve your love and affection. So maybe this person wasn't meant to stay. Maybe they were meant to show you what inconsistency feels like, what emotional unavailability looks like, what you should never accept again, because now you see differently, you choose differently, you love differently, and that version of you, it only exists because they left. So ask yourself honestly, if they had stayed, would you have ever learned this lesson? Or would you still be holding on to something that was slowly breaking you? Because sometimes the people who leave your life don't take something away from you. They give something back. Your clarity, your boundaries, yourself.